Welcome to the Cafe Nightly Show. I'm your host, the Goldsmith. It is the first of July, 2024, and we are rounding out and heading towards. It looks like the next cycle of totems, just maybe into sizzle season. Sizzle season being about a month away. The beginning of August, starting off sizzle season. We've got another couple weeks here left of Genesis season. We've got a couple weeks in between, and then we have sizzle season starting. So we're about a month away from the start of totems, at least maybe a little longer. And to get that kicked off, to head that way, Upland is doing another potion sale. That's what we're going to talk about. We kind of already had that conversation the last time we had a potion sale. Some of my own thoughts on what does this potion sale look like, and what does it mean, and what's the value of the potion sale after all. And kind of the same thoughts, but I'm gonna have to say them again because Upway did the sale again. And then otherwise, not a lot else. Tomorrow, as always, is going to be a cosmetic drop for the next week in our Genesis season drops. If you have a burnt pass, obviously you are going to get, there we go, that's easier. If you're going to get another drop tomorrow, you obviously know you've obviously burnt your pass at this point. Very late in the season to burn a pass at this point, but Upland continues to put that announcement out that if you want to buy and burn a pass, you definitely can. And that's what we're looking at. That's what we have as of right now, and we'll get into it. All views and opinions expressed by myself, they're mine and mine alone. Shouldn't be taken as game strategy or financial advice. They don't represent the game or the team of Upland. Any views or opinions of guests who we do have come on or contributors, they're theirs and theirs alone. They shouldn't be taken as game strategy or financial advice. They don't represent the game or the team of Upland. Myself, the Goldsmith of the Cafe Nightly Show. Pretty easy, pretty simple. All right, so looking at the announcement today, and I'll get into it in just a second. Obviously, it is very much this same announcement we had before, and that announcement is, hey, we have these potions. And before, the potions were this big reveal. They were this new thing. They were exciting. They were exciting in that they had a whole reveal to them. They had a whole, we're teasing, we're showing you something new. And they were a new dynamic in the game of Upland. And they had a competition built into it with a leaderboard. And competitions and leaderboards in Upland and any game environment are fun. And then when we looked at it at the time, the question of value was a question I had. And kind of there we go. I got the gold dragonfly and the best, but probably second best. Yes, you got a gold dragonfly, cheese. Well, there you go. So we did have the ability where people had gone and upgraded the value of their singular one totem, and people had mixed results when that actually happened. But the big question, the big issue is, where did they start, and what were the costs, and how was that set, and is it worth people diving back into that same hole? And if you had experience the first time around, it is up to you. And I do apologize for calling it a hole, but it really is. It felt like for some people, this race to nowhere, where they put a lot of money and effort into upgrading their totem. They got a small upgrade. They could have taken the same amount of money and effort and gone the secondary market and bought a secondary totem, a totem from a shop that somebody has it for sale. And it's exactly what you want. Whether or not you are, cultivating oranges because you are going to go and try to have all oranges because you want to collect all at the same time, or you want to go and feed all at the same time, that makes it easy. If you have everything on the same cycle, you can start them all at the same time. You can feed them all at the same time. Makes it easy, makes it simple. I could imagine that being something that would work for people. So you choose exactly what you want and make it easier for yourself, or on the converse, you burn some assets, or buy some assets, burn some assets, and get the best version of what you can get. This has been a little bit of a debate. Some people were luckier than others. Apparently, Cheese got a gold dragonfly, which is kind of awesome. There is a totem cemetery of all the burnt totems. Yes, a totem has to be burnt for a new totem to be reborn. And the reborn totems are essentially these totems that were reserved by Upland. The capability, the possibility was there. Better versions, theoretically better versions of what was burnt, but you burnt a totem. You have to burn it. And burn it means it's no longer there. The totem cemetery, not from burning. Cheese originally had a totem cemetery where she wasn't using the totems because they've been sitting there for 2 months. Yeah, I get that. It looks like headstones out there or monuments in a mortuary. You just got these different statues all sitting there just glaring at you and doing nothing, not being alive for months on end. It's exciting to have that next cycle again. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for Sizzle Season. We're a month away from getting there. No guarantees it's at the beginning of Sizzle Season, but that's from the announcement where it's going to be. And let's take a look at that announcement and get a better feel for that. On that announcement, again, the big thing is they're coming. Totems are coming. But to get there, we have to get through this sale first. I say get through because I've got some thoughts on the price point and how some people interacted with it last time. And we know people jumped in with both feet. And I will say the value here. And there definitely does seem to be a value for some people in participating in these sales. Totems are coming up, but first, some potions at everyone. Excuse me. We have the return of Totems in Sizzle Season on the horizon, but first we wanted to give you all the chance to upgrade your totems once again. Grab your potions tomorrow, Tuesday, July 2nd at 9 a.m. PT, with registration opening in the next few minutes. These potions can be combined with a totem to level it up, ready for the next cycle. For all the details, check the article here. Well, let's take a look. Again, all these articles are still being hosted on Medium. Upwind was transitioning how these are showing and how these are being used. And no, I do not want to change my Medium subscription. The continued use of Medium, obviously, we continue to see these articles hosted here, so nothing too crazy. Let's take a look. All right, last chance to upgrade your totems for Sizzle Season. Easy enough. We are thrilled to announce the next cycle of totems is arriving for Sizzle Season. As we gear up for this exciting time, we're offering players one more opportunity to level up your totems with its magical Totem Potions. The way these Totem Potions got rolled out originally, there was a bit of reveal and a bit of pomp and a bit of circumstance. It's kind of exciting. Ultimately, it's a pack rarity hit opportunity. You buy a pack, maybe you get lucky, maybe you don't. You get lucky, you get more value out of it than if you didn't get lucky. You get the rarer one with a higher utility. Obviously, it's going to have more value for you. A lot of people buy these just for the sake of flipping them. That's what we see. You get lucky, you flip it. You don't get lucky, you don't flip it. Hey, Yopus Crew, good to see you. What is up? A lot is up. We'll look at this again. Not to be a negative day, but it's some of the same thoughts as we start out with these totem burnable totem potions. These powerful elixirs are designed to upgrade and evolve your totems. Yep, same thing as we had before, making them more efficient and powerful than ever before. But there's a twist. Upgrading your totems requires burning one of your existing totems, and each player can only burn one. So you can't burn 6 and upgrade 6. You can burn 1 and upgrade 1. So choose wisely. Upgraded totems are enhanced, boosting improvements in various attributes such as output and frequency. Again, yes, they are all scaled. They're all meant to get better. But when we talk about frequency, it's worth noting that if you continue to maintain a frequency that is the same, if all of your feed cycles are exactly the same and you're going and feeding your oranges all at the same time or your browns all at the same time. Hey, JT, good to see you. It's a lot easier to continue that interaction. It's a lot easier for you to feed 5 browns at the same time than 1 orange, 1 brown. Golds are great. Love them. Gold, 1 gold, 1 red. And now you're different times and different days, and they're moving around the clock at different cycles. So one day they're 3 hours apart, and the next day they're 5 hours apart, the next day they're 9 hours apart. And they keep seeing this move in the cycle because one of them's on an 8-hour cycle and one of them is on a 12-hour cycle. You keep seeing them move around the clock. So, with that in mind, it is kind of nice. It is kind of nice to have everything lined up. So not having the guarantee of what time you're going to end up with, maybe that frequency makes a difference, or matching your frequency makes more of a difference than getting one that's a longer frequency, perhaps. All right. For example, by leveling up, you might upgrade your totem from orange to red. Okay, a little longer cycle. Okay. Which would increase the interval between feeds for your totem. Again, there's a benefit to that. There is. But there's also a benefit to having a totem that feeds on a regular cycle. If you have a totem that you feed every 12 hours, again, I want to be clear. Upland has said that they can alter the way these interact. We previously had, defined this totem is feeding this many every this many hours. This totem is feeding this many hours. That may change. So if that changes, they're still scaled. The reds are going to be feeding less often than the oranges, but the orange may not fall on the clock as comfortably as it did before. The red may fall more comfortably. We don't know that for sure. But like I said, if we take all of our totems and feed them on the same schedule, that is a different feature than just having one that's a little better than the other one. And high cheese, again, with this guy of the idea of enhancement, it's not just on that interval and feeding. Of course, interval and feeding is the only one I'm focusing on because there might be a reason for you to feed more often. It might work better for your schedule if it's everything feeding at the same time. Burning a totem will result in an overall upgrade, but it doesn't guarantee that you will get the same totem back. Again, you're not necessarily going to get all the things you want out of that first totem. There might be a specific reason why you want one versus the other. Keep in mind the animal type or the life type. That is going to determine, how that feed cycle works. AKA, at what point of the month you're feeding the same amount, the same time throughout the month. But what point of the month or the cycle you're going to get the best rewards out. And maybe you're in a position where you're going to crash this totem out halfway through the month and you're not going to be involved at the very end of the month. So maybe a totem that's going to feed and then pay out a ton at the end, maybe one that's a curve like where all the payouts are at the end, maybe that's not the right one for you. Or maybe you have a reason why for your schedule and all the things that you're doing. Maybe you have a totem that you're going to miss timing, and maybe it's more important to you that the penalties for missing feeding, that those aren't as severe and significant. So very much so, there's a reason why one or the other is more important to you, particularly, potentially, as opposed to just upgrading in general. That's just my thought. Again, everyone's a little different. And there is a whole market out there. I always push the secondary market because the secondary market is the whole point of the game, if you ask me. The idea that we have peer-to-peer sales, the idea that you can buy one thing at one time and potentially have a use case for it. If you finish your use case, for example, you were plenty happy with what you did your first cycle, you're not going to have time, energy to do another cycle because you're on vacation this summer, or you change your life cycle, you picked up a new job and you're working a different schedule. It just doesn't make much sense for you. Then you can sell that totem, and the value on selling that totem, what I've seen on the market, is not that different than it was when they were first released. Ultimately saw the value, the pricing wane a little bit, and we've seen it come up a little bit, and that's because we are getting C3, 4, R, 15. Good to see you. We can see that the value has come up a little bit, and that value coming up is definitely something that scales with utility. We have utility coming up. We can see a little bit of that competition to buy up the floor. And I think having this potion sale and people spending a decent amount of money, we'll get into the price in just a second, but people spending a decent amount of money to upgrade their potions, I think that's going to be something that also adds value too. Because if you're saying, I could spend $50 here and maybe upgrade one of my totems with potions, versus can I spend $50 and buy an additional totem? Again, keep all the totems I already have, get one new one, again, match the colors, feed them all at the same time, have the opportunity to line up and coordinate together. Maybe that makes more sense for me. Maybe that's something that makes more sense for me to get one more totem, again, one more point of interaction, one more chance for profit, as opposed to just turning around and trying to make one just a little bit better, and no guarantees of how that gets better. All right. For example, by leveling up, you might get upgrades. We said that with the intervals that feed the totem. That's going to be a big one. We're also going to see that a big part of that is you could be any of the traits. Any of the traits could be approved, and it doesn't guarantee which of them or how many of them, or is it multiple traits that get improved along the way. Or some or all of the traits may be the same. You may have every single one change, and with only one or two might. Items will be burnable within the next 24 hours again. At some point, not so long after the sale happens, they're going to be burnable. Potions purchased on the previous cycle can still be used to gain points. Again, this was key. People asked this question. I have 6 potions that I was trying to sell. What happens now that the burn cycle is over? When the burn cycle is over, obviously the next burn cycle we're able to use the same potions, so that's nice. We do know that when the burn cycle ends, it's going to go back into I'm holding on to the potion. If we have another burn cycle in the future, maybe you burn those same potions. I don't think we have a guarantee of that. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like down the line, but we do know that if you're holding on to potions, you can burn them this round around. That's an interesting point to make. It's an interesting thought. Again, I know some people who felt like they got burnt by the potions. No pun intended. They got burnt by the potions because they decided that it wasn't worth burning all these potions that didn't line up. The points they were going to get for burning didn't make sense based on the cost they had spent on them. They tried to resell them to somebody who might want them more for their burning cycle. And they, at the end of the burn cycle, they had neither burnt them nor had they had an opportunity to sell them. And here's the other reason why some people didn't burn, because there's a random hit ratio. There's an opportunity where you might get exactly what you need to burn, and it's possible for you to spend a decent amount of money and you just can't burn. You have to go in the secondary market to buy the thing that you have to burn to actually get the improvement on your totem. We'll get into how that actually works. But what are totem potions? There are 2 main types of totem potions, one required to begin the process and the other is used to level up your totem. Only one totem can be counted per player. So if you burn multiple totems, only one of them is going to count. Don't burn multiple totems. Please don't do it. I'll be so sad. The totem graveyard, not Cheese's totem graveyard, but the totem graveyard of the ones that got burnt, that does not need to get bigger needlessly. So please don't make that mistake. Only one totem per player. Will only count the last totem burn. So if you burn 17 totems, it's that last one that you burnt. I don't know why you killed the other 16. Please don't do it. Within the window, and then prior totems will be entirely lost. No benefit will be given to you, and you can't get them back. This same rule applies to the evolution potions. Oh, I mean, you can only burn one evolution potion. You burn 17, who cares? Only the last one burned will be counted. Don't burn 17 evolution potions, please. That's a waste. Evolution potion. The potion is essential for initiating the level up process of your totem, serving as a starting point for this transformation. To begin, you'll need to burn one of these potions along with your totem. Okay. Burn a totem, burn a potion. Okay. Potion is called an evolution potion. All right. And then that's when you build upon, layer upon, build on that leaderboard to decide where you line up again on that leaderboard and then get better benefit for your level up because of it. The evolution potion should match the totem you're burning, or you'll receive a negative 20-point penalty. 20 points is a lot of points when you start looking at this leaderboard and how things are built up and the cost of buying the things that build up those points. 20 points, if you put an OPEX value to it, could be a pretty significant number on the leaderboard for the mismatch. This penalty only applies to the evolution potion. Again, does not apply to other level up potions. After you've activated your upgrade with the evolution potion, the extent of the upgrade depends on the level potions used. The more potions you earn, the higher your totem will be prioritized for upgrade from a predetermined list of upgrades. These potions vary based on level, color, and style. To maximize your potion on the leaderboard, the color and style of your level up potion should match your totem. Again, no penalties here, but you're going to get bonuses for doing so. Burning these potions earns you points on the upgrade leaderboard. which will be updated every few hours. Again, if you're lagging 4 or 5 or 6 hours, expect that. Every few hours, you're going to see that updated. Burning these potions earns you points on the upgrade leaderboard, which will be updated every few hours. The upgrade process is guaranteed. You're going to upgrade if you do the things, but the outcome is determined by the points you accumulate. Okay. I think the upgrade process being guaranteed, if you burn the best thing or the near best totem, and then you end up low on that leaderboard, I don't know if they really are guaranteed an upgrade. I guess they have to, but I don't know what's available. I mean, I guess you burn the best totem in the game. I don't think there's a better option for you there, but that's what you should expect. You should expect something better coming back than what you burn, according to the categories, or at least having some of the categories get better. The higher you are on the leaderboard, the better your chances of obtaining the most advanced totem, with upgrades possible in one or more of its traits. So you have a fluid potion, a gamer potion, a future potion. Again, you want to match this to your totem. You're going to want to, like I said, you're going to want to match the style and the color. And then we can see the color here. Look at purple, blue, red. Look at that. And then you see the future, the fluid, the gamer. Pretty cool. Points system for the upgrades. Level 1 gives you 1 points. Level 2 gives you 2 points. Level 3 gives you 3 points. Well, look at that. And now you get some bonuses. If you match the color, it's a +2. If you match the style, it's +2. So if you match the color but not the style, you get the +2 plus the 1. That's 3 points. If you match the color and the style, and it's a level 1, like we're looking at, it's 5 points. Total possible 5 points per each burnt. Level 2, 2 points. If your color matches +3, if your style matches +3, that's a total of 8 points possible. And then a level 3 potion, if the color matches, it's +5. If the style matches, +5. A total of 13 points possible there. So those level 3 potions can give you a significantly more points than level 2. But keep in mind, one level 3 potion can't possibly give you twice as much. It doesn't have the ability, twice as much points as level 2. This is where we talk about the scaling of value and upwind on the secondary market. We can say that a level 3 potion, depending on the utility, the use case, how it lines up for your schedule, how it lines up with, do you match the color and do you match the style, for the amount of points you have for the actual utility, you're going to get potentially math is about 70%, 60% better outcome by burning on the 60 if it all lines up versus level 3 versus level 2. Here's the problem. If you're comparing two that don't have the same match, if they're not both matching color and style, one matches color, one matches both color and style, that's going to change that value for you. On the open market, how is that going to determine? I mean, if we see level 3s be double in cost to level 2s as a whole, I mean, I think we see an overvaluation there, or maybe an undervaluation of level 2s. Keep in mind, you can continue to stack points. Since you can continue to stack points, you can look at how is the economy valuing things versus how should I value things if I'm just trying to basically build points. But now we have to talk about the actual cost, because utility is fine. How do I use these things? What do these things do? They build my points on a leaderboard. The more points I've got on a leaderboard, the more I'm going to be able to turn around and have a better totem. I know people who burnt a ton of these things without really knowing what they were doing, and they were way in the head, way in the lead. Then you have to ask yourself, well, how much cost do they put in versus how much benefit do they get at the end? If she's got a gold dragonfly out of it on the backside of burning, that's not a bad deal. That's not a bad bonus, depending on what you burnt to start with. However, it is definitely something to consider that there is a secondary market on totems, and we can go take a look at it, because I do want to take a look at the secondary market on totems just to get a feeling of what's out there for cost and for value, and what could I do alternately on the secondary market. Because I do want to be fair, because I do like the secondary market. I do like people having the opportunity to buy and sell. This whole process, the whole process of potions, does create an entirely contrived, again, built just for secondary for the most part, market, because you could buy these and sell these and burn these, and then they don't exist anymore. Utility is one time, and the utility is done quickly, and the person who bought it just for the sake of selling it, or they bought it and now their only utility is to sell it. Because if you look back up here, if you don't start with an evolution potion, there's no value in burning a level up potion. And I'm going to come down and look at the actual sale and see there's no guarantee that you're going to end up on the primary. You're going to end up with a evolution potion. There's not a guarantee that's going to happen for you, of course. So keep that in mind. And then you get what you get. And if I ended up with a panda and I'm trying to level up a shark, guess what? I don't want to take that negative 20-point hit. And now I've got to go in the secondary market and buy what I actually need. So not only is it not a guarantee you're going to get this evolution potion, you're not going to get the evolution potion, or more than likely, you're not going to get the evolution potion you want, because you've got many life forms, right? We've got many life forms that you could be seeing. 7 life forms we could be seeing here. Or sorry, 10 life forms we could be seeing here. We're not going to see one for the llama, I hope. But there's 10 life forms that you could end up seeing on the side. And you got what? I mean, if you do the math, you've got like a 1 in 20 chance of line up. Let's take a look at what that chance actually looks like. All right, so 10 different versions. How do I get the evolution potions? Well, we go to the potion sale. The potion sale, there are going to be 3 different bundles available. Registrations today started already, continue to go on until tomorrow. Sale starts tomorrow, Tuesday, July 2nd at 9 a.m. PT. If you're listening to this now, tomorrow. If you're listening to this tomorrow, today, because this will be tomorrow, July 2nd at 9 a.m. PT. Evolution bundles, pricing $26.90. There are 500 of these total available, and there are 3 items included. You have a 50-50 chance of an evolution potion, or you could get the level 3 potion. Evolution, level 3. Evolution, level 3. One or the other. You have a 20-80 chance of that, including a level 3. 20% is a level 3. Or 80% that it is a level 2. And then a 40-60. 40% is level 2. 60% is level 1. So you could end up with a 3, 2, and 1 here. You could end up with a evolution potion, a level 3, and a level 2. Or a combination thereof of these across the board. What's interesting on this is the price, $26.90. $26.90. If I want to put myself on odds that I'm more likely than not going to get an evolution potion, maybe I buy 2 of these. Doesn't guarantee you get an evolution potion. That's not how statistics work. But if I've got a 50-50 chance of getting a evolution potion on a single evolution bundle, I buy 2 if I can. If I get lucky, keep in mind, these are competitive purchases. We register, we get our name put in the list. We get a chance to buy 1. Maybe later we get to buy a second if it gets through the line. Not everybody gets that opportunity. Sometimes nobody gets that opportunity because the sale sells out on that initial list. But let's say you got a chance to buy 2. You buy 2 from Upwind on original, $26.90. Multiply that by 2. $53.80. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. $53.80. I get 2 of these bundles. I get one of them gives me an evolution, one of them gives me a level 3 potion, and then I might end up with a level 3, my level 2, level 1. I'm going to end up with some combination thereof, and I ultimately spent $53.80, $53.80 in order to end up with the ability to find out that, yay, I got an evolution, but I'm going to get a negative 20-point penalty because I get a panda when I have a shark. So now I go on the secondary market and I either try to sell my panda to buy a shark, evolution, or I try to do a swap with somebody who wants one versus the other. And if I don't get lucky, I'm going to find that, the evolution potions for the dragonflies, because the dragonfly is a lower value form, or it's a lower form on the list of priorities of what the worst to best, at least as far as life's forms are concerned on the open market. Is a lower priority life form on that scale for the dragonfly. So maybe because of that, we see that my even though I paid $53.80 for it, just to get it along with some other level of potions. Maybe that evolution potion is lower value, so now I got to sell that and then buy another at a little higher value. So I actually take a loss when I go to do that, anyways, to get the one I need for the shark. And so I got a little bit of work that comes into this. Again, this is kind of part of the gamification, kind of the fun for some people. Goldie really hates these potions. I don't really hate these potions. I think they would be a different circumstance if you weren't telling people that, oh, it's open game, and now you got somebody who's going to burn literally, we'll get to the prices here, literally the equivalents of hundreds of thousands of UPIX worth of potions in order to be high on that list, and then find out that somebody burnt hundreds more. One guy burns 100,000, another guy burns 200,000, and then there's a bunch of people who been 190, 180, 170, and now the guy who burned 100,000, he's far down the list. So he burnt that for a little benefit because there was people who were willing to burn a bunch more. There's no guaranteed outcome for the cost. There's no guaranteed outcome for becoming 5th place or 7th place, because Upland's just telling you it's your priority of upgrade. And your priority of upgrade, the higher you are on the upgrade list, the better your upgrade. But if you are going to put a certain level of effort in a certain amount of cost, there's no guarantee what that is going to get you. There's no guarantee of what position on there you're going to get blank a totem, because that's not disclosed. So there's a lot of variables there. And again, if you end up with a gold, I mean, more power to you. We know on the market, golds have a significantly higher value. Having that ability to have the round base, there's a lot of value there as well. Having reduced penalty, there's a lot of value with the reduced penalty. With the gold, you're going to get more output at the end. We'll make a little more profit. So good, more power to you on that. Well, at this point, I do want to put this out. At this point, I think we all have the protem we have. I think Upland is going to potentially going to put more protem out, another protem sale like they did before. So if you bought a totem and you don't have protem, you have the opportunity to buy some. But if we're all sitting on an amount of protem that we earned from the last time, that may be more than we need to run all of our totems. So people are buying more totems and getting more totems so that they can have the same percent profit. They can have the same percent yield that they would otherwise have, but kind of scale that up. Start it with a larger base, have more things to put your protem into, and therefore have a larger yield overall. Because again, everyone has a little bit of profit, theoretically. I say over everyone, because I want everyone to have been successful the first cycle. Everyone who was successful this first cycle ended up with more protem on the backside than they put in the first place, which means it puts them in a position where they could theoretically start more totems than they started last time around. Maybe that works out. Maybe that's why some people who were successful last time, they have the time, they buy more totems. And that's another pitch. Second time I'm making it. I'm going to make it one more time. Go and buy some totems from people who have map asset shops. Layer one purchases. I love them. They're good for the economy. They're safe. They're protected. You're going to get what you paid for. Somebody's not taking you for a ride. That there's not going to, you're less likely, I should say, for there to be a technological glitch that prevents you from getting the asset that you were trying to purchase, that you want. So that's my second pitch. We'll make one more for buying totems on the secondary. And then we'll run down this list here. Of course, that was our evolution bundles. Into our potions bundle, so I can go buy some potions. This is a little bit of a better version of potions. $10. No UPIX value. No UPIX option. $10. 650 of these are available. It includes 2 items. Again, with that packet rarity, 20% chances to level 3, 80% chances to level 2. Second item, 30% chance to level 2, 70% chance it is a level 1. So with this, you're more likely than not to end up with a level 2 potion and a level 1 potion. You could get lucky. You could end up with a level 3 potion. You could get really lucky and get a level 3 and a level 2 here. No guarantees, but that's the opportunity. That's what people are buying them for. People could buy a bunch of these and see if they get lucky and then sell the right one to the right people. And because people could go on the secondary market to buy these because they want to get the level 3 when they get the level 1. They want to match. They want to come up here and they want to match color. They want to match style. That's the reason why secondary market is so large on the sale. So large because it's not just do I have a level 3, level 2, level 1. It's the color and the style. And because there's a bunch of combinations thereof, I'm unlikely to get the right style and right color. I'm burning one totem. It's got one style to it. It's got one color to it. And I want to match both. So now I'm going to go to the secondary market and buy these. And what happens on the secondary market is determined by the difference between people who actually want to buy these and the people who want to sell these. And my experience on these type of sales is that people who want to sell these is a broad category. And the people who want to buy these is a more narrow category. And some of the people who want to sell them are the same people who want to buy them. And some people who buy them think they want to buy them to have them, and they just don't get lucky and they don't get the evolution potion, and then they become sellers. So we will see. We will see how this turns out. And it was profitable for certain people. I know people who spent a lot of money on these last time without knowing how they worked. So know how they work before you buy them. The only way I would take the chance of burning a totem for a better one would be if the evolution made the totem have a perk the original ones didn't have. That's an interesting point, Cheese. I can see burning to get a little better one, but I could also spend, we'll take a look at it because that's something I want to do. We could also spend a certain amount of money to get a guaranteed totem. If I buy a gold in the market in USD, it's going to be a higher cost, more than likely. I think we look in the market, we'll see that very much so. Then going and buy an orange. For the most part, you will see that. Is the scale and value worth it? I'm going to argue probably not. It's probably not worth the difference in cost to buy an orange versus a gold. I don't see that being a big difference in value. If I'm going to buy 2 oranges versus buying 1 gold, might as well buy 2 oranges if it lines up, if it works, it makes sense for me. But you do see the value, because we have multiple traits. If all the traits line up and it has all the positive traits, you can see those values on those significantly different on the market than stuff that doesn't have as great values. And of course, ultimately, some of that just means the more likely or more often you have to feed. The output, they're very similar. The scaling of output isn't really crazily different. It's just harder to get the maximum output on some of the totems as they go through. And again, that additional purchase, I 100% agree. What if I was competing and the people who were the top 20 on the board, they got totems that fed themselves, and you just took your hands and went, ha, 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 ha. At the end of the month, I get my profit. That would be cool. That would be cool. That would make the competition make more sense, where the competition is not to get a little bit of an upgrade without a guarantee of what that upgrade is. The competition is everyone's going to get an upgrade. The people on the top of the list, they're going to get a super upgrade. That would be compelling. I would really agree with that type of benefit. But with the type of benefit we're talking about, I'm gonna hold that pitch. But with the type of benefit we're talking about, there are other options. All right. And of course, we're going to keep on going on the list. We've got one more bundle left. This is the UpX option. I always appreciate when there's an UpX option. Thank you, Upland, for making an UpX option. The UpX option is not going to allow you to take those take those potions and do anything with them, really. You have to also go up and buy the more expensive version, or go on the secondary market and buy the evolution. The evolution might be quite a bit more than the evolution bundle cost. So, you have a pretty significant investment to make this UpX bundle do anything. And because this UpX bundle is the lowest quality bundle, meaning the secondary sales options are probably limited. But Maybe you buy it for secondary value. Maybe you buy it for fodder. Maybe you buy as many as you can, and then you trade with people so you get the right style and right color, and you take the right style and right color level ones, and you burn them, burn them, burn them, burn them, and you stack your points up and get higher in the level on the board, and then you get a gold. Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. So there is going to be 2 level 1s in the base bundle, 6,000 UPX, 1,000 of those available. Again, this is not enough, this UPX bundle, and you can't do this on UPX alone, short of buying on the secondary. You can't, with UPX alone, actually do this evolution. Just worth noting. But this could be fodder to go, and if you're gonna burn, it could be fodder for people to buy and try to flip. Ultimately, I don't know if you match the color and you match the scale. Match this color and match the style. Maybe on the scale of the matter, maybe it's still valuable. Again, if I come up here, level 1, it is 5 points. Level 2, it is 8 points. Level 2s are not twice as valuable as far as points are concerned. They're not twice as valuable as level 1. Level 3 can give you almost 3 times, not quite 3 times as many points if you match the color and the style as you would with a level 1. So maybe at the level 1s, maybe there is a market of value for flips. Maybe you buy a bunch and you put a bunch in the shops, and people buy the ones that they want because look at it. You have to match 2 traits to really get the maximum benefit. You have to match color, you match style. That means the combinations we're going to see, we're going to end up with 50 something combinations by the time you're done. It's crazy. So you're gonna see quite an opportunity to not get exactly what you want. So you've got to turn around, and it's getting late already. You've got to turn around and go and buy these on the secondary. Maybe you sell what you've got and buy what you need. And maybe that puts you flat and neutral. Maybe you do swaps and trades with people for what you've got, and then you happen to have what they need. It just all works out. But ultimately, because of the difficulty, or there can be difficulty in getting the exact color and style that you need, maybe that's going to push the value up, and maybe it's worth people buying that just for the flip, which we don't do in Upland as much. People used to buy properties just for the flip in cities, and it used to be very easy. And again, it all comes down to the number of property buyers versus the number of properties for sale. And the same thing here. There's only so many bundles. If people want more than there's available to them, if they sell out quickly, there's always that opportunity for speculation. And I'm neither saying that people, that makes it a little easier. I'm not saying people should or shouldn't take part in the speculation side of things. Ultimately, that's the only way to play this, if you ask me. I'm not saying you should do it or not do it, but I don't see how you play this without speculation, because if you buy it, you're almost certainly not going to end up with the color and style to match, unless you buy that first. You determine you have 50 different totems, and you find the one that matches, and you go, yay, I've got one that matches, and then you decide to burn that totem. That would be the way that would make sense. Otherwise, you're probably, if you start with a totem you want to burn, you're willing to burn, and then you go buy a bunch of these, as many of these packs as you can get, and it may not be that many because they may sell out. You're not going to get lucky, or you're unlikely to get lucky enough to just be like, that's the right color, that's the right style. So you're going to likely either burn a mismatch, not get very many points for it, or you're going to turn around and go to the secondary market to sell and buy, or you're going to go trade and swap. So you are speculating in a way. You are buying something in order to directly sell it, either because you're trying to take a profit, or buy something in order to directly sell it in order to fund you buying what you need. Because, again, if you just want what you need, you're going to go to the secondary market and buy it. You're going to pay a markup, but you're going to buy it on the secondary market. That's the only way that this makes sense. Which, again, you could take the penalty, you can burn what you get, but I think the ultimate goal here is to spur the secondary market. And for that, I clap my hands. I appreciate it. Secondary market is where it's at in Upland. I just question the economy of this whole thing. Is it worth these costs to not guarantee what you're going to get on the other end? I saw people with 50, 70, 80, 100 points. And if I come over here and I look at the cost here and level 3, level 2, and I come down here, come up here. There we go. And 13 points and 13 points and 13 points on level 3. And what's the level 3 going to end up costing on the market on the USD side? I'm going to buy 4 of those, and I had to buy 2 of these packs to, not guarantee, but to be more likely than not to end up with an evolution. Now I'm talking about hundreds of dollars potentially. Hundreds of dollars to be towards the top of the list to get a better totem. What could I do with those hundreds of dollars? Great. Thank you for asking. We'll get there in a very short minute. Of course, let's conclude this. And see how Upland wraps things up. The trading and burn window for this potion cycle. Again, potion cycle. The old potions can be used during this cycle. We may have another potion cycle in the future. It's possible, but this cycle is going to close. The burning for this potion cycle is going to be open for 1 week. So you got 1 week to trade, swap, sell, and burn. If you don't burn it in this cycle, is there a guarantee of a next cycle? I'm not going to say there is, but it looks like this process may happen again. Closing on Tuesday, July 9th at 9 a.m. PT. Again, that's when the burn cycle is going to close. You need to burn before that happens. New upgrade totems will be distributed to players 1 week following. So within a week of the end of that period. Get ready for the next totem cycle for sizzle season. There we go. I can say sizzle season. It's an alliteration, but I've got it. So sizzle season, that's when we're going to have our next totem cycle. It doesn't mean that it's day one, but it does mean that sizzle season started in 1 month. Again, today is the 1st of July. 1st of August is sizzle season. That's going to be a month to 2.5 months away. That's exciting. It's exciting to see that happen. And there's a lot of reasoning to do it inside of a season. It kind of makes the season themed around the totems, and I really like that. New upgraded totems will be distributed to players that week after. So we've got plenty of time to get these totems back and ready for sizzle season when that totem cycle starts. Prepare for the next level with these exciting new potions. Mark your calendars. Get ready for the transformative experience happening, upgrading. Again, new level, new potions. We had this before. We saw how it happened. We saw people at the top of the list. We saw the type of upgrades they got. We saw the type of cost that they spent to upgrade their totems. And we had a various degree of people's satisfaction with such. I'm not saying don't participate. I'm not saying that it's not a fun event. I'm not saying that giving a utility, essentially a contrived utility, but a utility to buying and selling, to using your legit shops, because these do get sold in legit shops, to use your Variety Legit shop. This is a huge support of Variety Legit shops. Go patronize your Variety Legit shop today. This is also, as far as I'm concerned, a justification of a map asset shop or going to visit one. And let's go take a look at why. I'm going to go take a look and make sure my page is up where I want it to be. I'm going to do 2 more things to get there. Boop, 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 boop. But when I get to my page where I want it to be, so I can see the why of this being a great opportunity for map asset shops. We're getting there. I was logged in. I'm doing it again. But again, this is a great justification of having a map asset shop. And the reason why it's a great justification of having a map asset shop is because I can go and purchase. There we go. Let's try that now. Oh, no. I can go in and purchase a map asset, and a map asset being the totems, and I can be at the totems at a different variety of prices at a different variety of shops, and that's all in the secondary. And if you have that map asset shop, maybe now is a great time for you to sell some totems. Maybe you've been sitting on some. Maybe people are going to look and say, hey, I want to buy a totem so I can upgrade it. That's a use case. That's the reason to buy a totem. Maybe someone's going to say, I'm going to match the colors to the ones I already have, so I'm going to feed them on the same regularity. Hey, that's an idea. That's a great strategy. Great strategy. Add one more totem, have a tiny bit more work because you're going to go feed that, but you do it at the same time. That's a great idea. Keep it up. You're smart. If you want to go add 2 totems that are lower cost, but lower cost totems, but they're going to both be. Let's take a look on Upland. I was going to go look at a tool, but we don't need to do that. We're going to go take a look at Upland and look at that. If we're going to buy 2 totems that are the same color, but they're half the cost each of a higher grade one. Now I'm going to have 2 more totems that are going to feed at about the same time that are going to theoretically give me not quite twice as much as the best version of that totem, but they may give me 1 3/4 times what I would be getting if I took a totem and got a better version of it, and I paid the same amount or maybe less, because there are some pretty big discrepancies between one type of totem and another on the market. So if I go look at assets, let's go shop some assets. Let's go over here. Let's go look at map assets. There we go. Ooh, aren't they lovely? Let's go over here. Accepting items. Yes, pricing. We can set our price if we want to. Let's start with totems. Totem. Oops. We'll get there. We'll get there, I promise. There we go. Look at these evolution potions. Aren't they lovely? Look at those outfits. Aren't they lovely? Oh, here's some totems. Wow. We can go look at these. So I'm going to go set this here. We're going to look at for sale USD. We're going to go look from, I don't think there's a $25 one, but let's say there is. And let's go look at to a $100 one. There could be more options. Oh, there we go. We don't want to look at totem potions. We'll look at totems. Oh my gosh. Let's look at what we have here. Let's zoom in and get a better look at my old eyes. All right. Look at here. Look at here. Look at here. We're going to go sort by lowest to highest. Let's see if we can do that. Nope, that's not. We're going to go here and see if we can sort on this, get that out of the way. And we can go and see back to zoom out again. Here we go. We're going to go. We did see the for sale in USD. Yep, let's do that. Let's sort by lowest mint. Let's go low to high pricing. Yeah, let's go from 25 up to that 100 again. All right. And I'm going to apply that. And let's take a look. And we're going to get a closer look here. All right. $34.65. What? $34.65. Okay. Okay. And I want to make my totem a little better. All right. So $26.90. 50-50 chance to get an evolution. I got to go to the secondary market and buy an evolution. Or I got to buy 2 of these and not guarantee I got an evolution, but more likely than not that I get an evolution by buying 2 instead of 1. 50-50 chance twice. Again, puts me a little bit, in the vicinity of 90% chance, ish, of maybe I get lucky, maybe I don't. So cross my fingers. Maybe I got lucky. But again, that's not how statistics work. Realistically, I got a 50% chance in A, 50% chance on B. The likelihood that they are both the same is irrelevant because every sample size every sample is different, and my experience is different than your experience. So it's more a matter of, if I don't get up that, so if I spend $53.80 and I don't get that evolution, I still have to go to the market and buy that evolution, which of course is pricier than a potion. And the potions, I got some potions out of the deal, but now I'm spending even more money to go and get the evolution, of course. And that's going to be something that we're going to see And you do have a mic open, Blue, if you don't mind getting that closed. I do hear some noise in the background there. Otherwise, we are going to see that there is significant value in maybe, just maybe, coming and looking at the right color, and maybe I get two $34.65 totems that are the same color are going to feed at about the same time. Oh, look at that. There's a dragonfly. There's a goat. There's a toucan. They're all orange, and they're all under $35 a piece. There's my pitch. My pitch is, why can't we buy up the floor of these in USD as opposed to put a ton of money into the totems? And maybe my argument's wrong. Maybe it's the Totem Potion sale that helps make the floor of these totems, the floor, the lowest cost USD of these totems, more valuable, because you can compare how much can I pay to get a little better one versus I could spend the same amount of money and get an extra one or another extra one. So I could spend $50, $70, $80, $100 to try to get the best upgrade I can get, versus everybody else on this. So I gotta be competitive. And if people are more competitive than me and they put more effort and time and they spend more money on it, then they're going to end up higher on the list. And it doesn't matter how much I put in. They put in more. They get that first priority. I get the fifth priority or 8th or 20th or whatever the case is. But I could take the same amount of money if I'm to put $70 into that competition instead of, trying to upgrade my orange. Maybe I add 2 oranges right alongside my orange. 2 oranges right alongside my orange, feed at the same time. Now I'm going to add, instead of just increasing the output of one totem a little bit, now I'm going to add another 2 totems that are going to be in the same scale. We did see that the best of the worst was like a 40% bonus on the output. I think that was it, like a 40% bonus on the output. So now I've multiplied my orange by 3 instead of getting a 40% bump, potentially, depending on what I'm going to go scale with. Instead of getting a 40% bump on my totem, I got a 3x bump on my totem, and maybe $75 was the amount I was going to spend, so I spent the same amount. This is just a pitch, just an idea. Do what makes sense for you. But that's what I would consider as a alternative here. So I spent an hour on one announcement. Because, again, I think that the secondary market is dynamic and it's evolving. And I think Upwind's doing a great job with events like this in justifying that secondary market. That secondary market can definitely go stagnant. That secondary market, I have meta ventures I have a couple meta ventures that maybe I sell a couple things a month, and sometimes they have more activity in one type of meta venture and one meta venture than others. But it's these type of events that spur activity, specifically in variety legit shops in the potions, specifically in map assets, when we have these burn events or we have these enhanced utility. The greatest thing about totems is they have cyclical utility. We have multiple cycles. When we get into each cycle, they have utility for a period of time, and then we have a cooling period, and during the cooling period, we can have that value drop, and maybe people bought a bunch during the cooling period, and maybe during the right before the utility period, right before the use case, people can see if they can make a profit. Keep in mind, $34.65 is $20 less than the original mint price. Again, there was a $55 mint price. There was also a 55,000 UPX mint price. If you do the math and you look at the current market, 55,000 UPX was definitely lower cost than the $35 USD on this side. If you bought at the 55,000 UPX price, you'd be taking a profit at $35 as far as the market's concerned. However, there's a lot of people who bought at $55, and it's really interesting to see so many below that $55 mint price. Again, these may have all been people who bought in UPX. These may have been people who bought in UPX at 70,000 UPX on the secondary, and they're selling them out in USD, and maybe they're getting a higher percentage by buying in UPX and selling in USD on the totem side than they would elsewhere. Or maybe they just bought a bunch and, either in UPX or in USD, and these are the ones they don't want because they can't value orange. Well, I'll tell you what, I've got a bunch of oranges. I have a relatively decent ability to find a 5-minute time to feed all my totems, at least within an hour or two of that feeding window. Maybe I take my 5-minute break at work and grab a coffee quickly instead of taking my time, and maybe I go and feed my 15 totems. And that's my idea here. Maybe I go buy some more totems. And if I wanted to, in my case, and I've got a bunch of Upix, and I know Paris is coming, but I've got a bunch of Upix, and here we go. There we go. I've got a bunch of Upix. Maybe I go in the Upix over here, and maybe I go from. Oh, let's just see if anyone's got any under mints in Upix. This is the last look we'll do together. There's a lot of other. Oh my gosh, let me do it. Maybe there's an undermints. We'll take a look at those undermints, and let's take a look. This is the last time I'm going to do this upland. And we're going to see if there's any undermints here. Wow. We're going to 35. Wow. I guess we're not gonna do this because Upland doesn't want us to do this because it's not working well for us. But we are going to see that hopefully. All right. There we go. And then we're gonna do this in Upix. Oh, it worked. Maybe it'll work this time. Upix, 100,000. Leave it at 25. Apply. Now we got it. There's the ticket. And then we're sorted low to high. Yeah, we still got to work. So we see that we do have some available for 72,000. That is theoretically above that 55,000 Upix. That means if you minted at 55,000 Upix, look at this. At floor on Upix side of things, you've got a 40-something% profit. Good for you. Good job. You had the opportunity to flip. Again, we're seeing these oranges sitting there. And again, I'm making that pitch. If you've got the opportunity to feed a few times a day, guess what? Just feed them all at the same time. I mean, again, if we get 75,000 Upix here, but if I want to go and you see that the colors line up, right? And I want to go down further in the list, I want to get them. Wow, there's only 21 in Upix available. Huh. That's funny. I guess everyone's trying to get them in USD. But if I go looking at color here, and I go run down that color, and I can see that the other options here, and there's other options here, of course. They're all going to be in that same vicinity. We're looking at that. I set the max price at 100,000 Upix. Let's set that max price at 500,000 Upix. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe the difference is that we have. Maybe the difference is that we set that too low, but we can see. Yeah, there we go. 81 available on the Upix market under 500,000. We can see that we have. We're gonna see those colors end up. Oh, look at them. Maybe we'll find a gold in here. Maybe I don't see one. Not even 500,000 is gonna buy me a gold. Go figure. But again, this is something where you can do some shopping if you choose to do so. Like I said, the difference in value between getting this orange and going over here and getting a green, the lowest cost green, do I think that I should be paying 1.7 times for a different color? Again, there's more than one trade. Keep that in mind. Do what makes sense to you, but this is an option. It's always an option, and the more you think about your own gameplay, the better you're going to do. Look at this. And then let's look at this one more time. Here's totems. We're in legits. Let's go and look at those totems in legits. We got 40 potions available. We're going to show more. We're going to come over here. We're going to go for sale. We're going to go. Oh my gosh. I swear to gosh. Upland. We're going to go between $5 and $100. We're going to sort by, come over here. We're going to sort by price, low to high. Let's see what we look like. All right, $5. Look at some level ones for $5, $5, $5, $5 right on the list. Maybe I should have started at $0. Let's start at $0. Oh, come on, Upland. Why do we be difficult? All right, we'll start with $1. There we go. From $1 to 100, let's see what we got. Yeah, still $3 is a low here. So $3 on these level 1 potions. You can sell a bunch here. We could sell some browns. There's some brown ancient, brown elegant, brown gamer. Again, this comes down to piece by piece. What do you want to do here? There's a whole economy here. If I spend 6,000 UPX, I got 2 level 1s. I go and try to get to the bottom of that market. Maybe there's a profit there. Wow, maybe people should go and buy a bunch of maybe they should go buy a bunch of those level 1 bundles, the 6,000 UPX bundles. I don't know. But also the question of what's listed and what sells, that's going to be a question as well. The supply is going to go up. Don't think that where this floor sits right now is where the floor is going to sit in 2 days. Don't think that everyone's buying the level 1s when we saw the utility difference in going buying level 2s. But if we see all these values at the floor here, if we see things line up that makes sense for people, maybe they're going to the secondary market to try to build those scores up. But again, my argument is we saw what our options were. We saw that last time we had one of these leaderboards, the numbers got very high into the hundreds, over 100 for the people who were top there, 50, 60, 70. And we know those 50, 60, 70 points are going to cost you 60, 70, 80, 90, $100. And for that $100, you can go and buy 2. And if for 150, which might have been what the top person paid, you could buy 3 totems. Think about it. Do what works for you. Jimmy Jester, my totem is a monument of don't fall for FOMO. Jimmy, there's utility for the totem. The FOMO, if you ask me, and again, Upland, keep these sales going. Keep the sales going. Consider the utility, the value of the utility. Consider the economy of scale and Upland, the economy. Look at the secondary economy, and then kind of mesh the two together and make the numbers work so that the value you're providing matches the cost. But I like these sales. Even though this is FOMO, I like these sales that they exist. But yes, the potions are a big FOMO item. Buy them, burn them. I want to be the one. I want to be the top of the list. I don't have a guarantee what I'm getting, but I want to be the top of that totem list. And you have that competition, and they don't want to lose out in that top spot, so they spend more and more and more and more and push their way up the list. And yay! But totems aren't. There's not a fear of missing out for me because I get the utility the first time. I feel like I got a decent profit. I feel like I've got the opportunity again. It is a fun little bit of utility or gamification as far as I'm concerned. If it's not for you, don't participate. Don't do this and harm yourself. Don't do this and be upset with it. But as far as I'm concerned, I enjoy the totem cycle. It's a fun little gamification I can participate in for 5 minutes 3 times a day. I like it. If you don't, then don't put the effort into it. Do something else. But you were saying there, they never said anything of more cost when they sold it. I agree, Jimmy. I agree that the idea of potions didn't exist when you bought the totem. When you bought the totem originally, if you screwed up, and people did screw up, if you screwed up and you destroyed all your protum and now you had to go buy some protum to be successful, I get that. I've got plenty of protum. I'm ready to go next cycle. I'm not going to spend $1 to buy more protum. I don't need that. That is not part of my totem. I'm actually going to buy more totems because I've got enough protum. In my case, I've got enough protum that I can start some more totems. And I might go with those oranges. Like I said, that might be my thing. I've got a number of oranges already. If I can move more of my totems into oranges or get more oranges and get rid of some of my others, I might be in good shape. And again, orange is the cheapest. So maybe I can sell my other ones, take a little bit of profit, come back in, buy some oranges. Maybe buy even more oranges than I was going to originally buy. Who knows? But the potions, I agree. The potions were not something we were told about. I think that's okay. I think it's okay that Upland adds features that they haven't told us are coming. But I like these potions, okay? After an hour of arguing that the potions might not be something that's worthwhile existing anywhere in the universe. No, again, there's if you want to be part of that leaderboard, more power to you. The cost, I think, is excessive. The reward, I think, is underwhelming. I think that you could better use your funds potentially, at least for myself. I'm not telling you how to interact with this, but I do like the potions. I like the potions because they do not change the way I interact with my totems. It is an enhanced ability for certain people who choose to take advantage of this sale. And if you choose to take advantage of the sale, you're not silly, you're not stupid, you're not necessarily giving into FOMO for no reason. You're doing what you want to do. Do it with eyes open. Do it because you want to. Do it with realizing that you could go buy totems on the secondary if you chose to do so. Do it with all those things. And if that's what you choose to do, that's your gamification. But for me, I don't lose the utility of my totem because this potion sale exists. And for me, that's a good enhanced premium aspect that Upland could add without taking away from me. So I do appreciate the potions, at least the way Upland chose to set them out, that they are not harming my gameplay by giving somebody else a different level of gameplay. And for tonight, I want to thank you so much for being here. That was way too much time on a topic we've already discussed before. Thank you so much for being here Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. PT, here in the Upland Cafe on Discord, on also on YouTube and on Twitter, and of course, when we can get interviews in here, I love to do so. A topic like this, I get a little animated on because it lines up. It lines up with some opportunities to talk about successes in the game of Upland, and I'm not gonna call them failures, but opportunities for growth. Upland is supposed to be an economically driven game, and the economy is supposed to be, one of the most important parts. And that's what got me here, is this idea of having an economics driven brain and look at the economy of Upland. And then you have a sale like this that, in my assessment on the primary market, misvalues the opportunity that's being sold, the opportunity for upgrade. That's at least the way I see it. Upland's making revenue, more power to you. Upland is continuing to pay the people they need to pay to put out a quality game and improve the game and make it better next week than it was last week. More power to you. But again, next sale, look at the Upland economy. Look at the secondary market. Look at the players who are playing, the number of players who are playing in a certain segment of the game. Set the pricing in a way that the primary market justifies there being a secondary market. But set the pricing in a way that the utility, that the benefit from what you get from buying in the USD side makes sense. And think about not necessarily what my opinion is going to be, because my opinion is just one, but think about the way that feels for the people who are like Jimmy Jester and own totems already. As far as I'm concerned, I think that it's okay to have the enhanced utility. I have no problem with that. But just think about that primary utility versus a secondary utility, that modification versus the original product. And let's make them all fit together on the economic side, on the utility side, on the overall strategy of what was the original product. And again, if this was half the price, I think I wouldn't be complaining at all. Thank you so much for being here. See you tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a different announcement to discuss. We'll continue on with Upland. As always, if you're in the Upland Discord, go back to a heritage of the show. Go back to the beginning and say, feel free to unmute your mics. The floor, of course, is yours.